Hello, this is Patrick from XPression, and I'd like to go over how to build text styles inside of XPression Maps. I'm in the Maps interface, and on the right side I have a Drawings panel. And in the Drawings panel I have a choice list here that I can choose for different elements that I would work with. One of them is text. I can choose text and I can drop it on there and I can do whatever I need to do with it, but maybe it's not a style that I want. I want to create something new. So you'll notice that the first item in all of these folders for drawings is an icon labeled New. If I click on the New icon, a new drawing dialog box comes up and I'm going to choose Text. I'm going to click OK. Now the initial dialog box will show you what you're working with down on the bottom. I'm going to put in some text in here and I'm going to call this Town Label so that I know what it looks like. Now I'm going to leave the rest of this alone for just a minute. I'm going to come over to the tab called Label. I'm on General now. I'm going to go to Label and I can choose from the fonts that I currently have built inside of this and added them as text. What I want to do is work with something that I don't already have, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the browse icon and I can see different things I have here, but I want something completely different. So I'm going to click add and I'm going to look. I've got two fields here. One is name, one is called font file. I'm going to hit the browse on font file and I'm going to go into my Windows directory, so C Windows Fonts, and now this will show me the entire font catalog I have on my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find Calibri Bold. I think that's it right there, and there it is. Perfect. So I've got Calibri Bold. I'm going to click OK and I'm going to make sure that I've selected that. Great. Click Done, and you can see now I have that there. The name is still New Text. I'm going to change that to Calibri. Actually, I'm going to call it New Town Labels. Town Label, and that's what I'm going to see in the user interface. Now, if that's all I want is just black text, I'm good. If I want to change the colors of it, the default color, for example, I'm going to go and choose white. I have a whole bunch of colors here that are already in. If I want it to have a shadow, I can click the shadow button, and then I can work with the different shadow styles here. The shadow colors. Right now there is no shadow color, so I'm not going to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose from the list of colors here, and I'm going to choose black. And I'm going to enlarge my shadow so that I can see it. And you can see as I change that number, you see it starts to grow. I can change the distance of it. I can change if it's going to have blur. I could also add a border to this if I want to. And again, I can increase or enlarge that as well. So you can see I've got a lot of capabilities here. I can even add a glow to this if I want to. So if I really want to make this extremely tacky, I have all the opportunities in the world to do that. I'm going to turn the glow off. I've also got bevels here. Now let's just say I'm going to turn off border. I'm going to leave the shadow there because I kind of like it. But the one other thing I want to do is I want this to be over a background so that it stands out on my map items. So I'm going to choose the next tab, which is background. And I'm going to choose a color for it. So I've got white type. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a black color here, and I have some varying transparencies. We'll talk another time how to make them. I'm going to choose black 50. Actually, let's choose black 75 so it stands out a little better. And you can see that I've got that there, and I want to make that a little bit bigger. So if I choose scale, you see that it goes around the type a little looser, so the box of it gets a little bigger. Again, that will size with the text, so if I change it from town label to just town, and actually it's not there, it's on the general tab, so whatever I change is my default text, you'll see that it'll scale that goes with it. Now I can go back to that background. I can also add an outline to my background, so let's say I want to put a white border around it. I have a white border now and I can change the width of that. I can also add a shadow, so I'm going to choose 75% black, and I'm going to change the distance here. So you see I've got boxes, I've got shadows, I've got font sizes, everything else. Now maybe I want to do a marker. Let's try this real quick. I'm going to choose marker and I'm going to choose image. It's going to look at my catalog of images, so I'm going to choose stuff that I already have here. I'm going to choose ball red, and you'll see that it doesn't really show anything, but I'm going to go back to general, and you notice now if I move my Y offset and move it up, Look at that. There is that red ball that I had put in. So maybe I want to have that as a marker. I could also take that and I can move it left or right if I want to do that. But for now, I'm just going to take that because I want to get rid of it because I don't really want to use that here. Instead, I want to show you something else. Let me see if I can get to a non-used area here. There we go. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to go back to General and reset that to 0.0. Now, I'm going to go and choose a call out. And I have two types. I have an arrow and a line. First, I'm going to show you what arrow looks like. I'm just going to choose arrow, and I'm going to leave color alone. I'm going to go back to General, and again, I'm going to change that Y offset, and that's the default style. When we use this later, I can drag this around, and the tip of the arrow will stay centered on wherever it was that I placed this object. I'm going to go back to call out, and I'm going to change it again, instead to line, and you can see what line does, and now I have a choice of color, and that's what that will do. So I've just shown you a whole bunch of different things that you can do with text to make your labels stand out on your maps, and you can see how you play with them. I'm going to click Done here. Now, I've made that, and you'll see that it's going to fall into the bottom of what I've done. So there's town label. Now here's something interesting. If I click on it once and then I right click, I can set that as the default text. So say for example I've got a map, and here I've put the address for the Ross headquarters in Ottawa. If I right click on the address and I click on Add Name to Map, that would be the style that I'm going to get by default now. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to double click on this. I can edit this and eliminate some of this text, which is a good thing for you to see, because maybe you don't want all this. And it's prominent Origa, so I'm going to hit enter. Let go of it there, and now you can see that that is pointed in, and it's running. Actually, that's 64. This is 62. Let me move that over. And now I've done that as a style. So I've gone ahead, I've created new text, and I've put it together, and I've shown you different variants of things that you can do and how you can work with it. And again, since I did a line, a call out will work the same way with an arrow or a line. You can see that it's attached to the registered point that I put that down in. So that's how you create new text inside of XPression Maps. Okay, so we built the new text object. Well, let's say I've got a text object and I need to change it. How do I do that? I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to right click on New Town Object, and I'm going to edit drawing rather than set as default. Now, I left out one very important thing, how this graphic or text object at this point will appear as it comes on screen or goes off screen. I'm going to choose my in effect, and I have a choice of dissolve, typewriter, or alpha. And dissolve is literally just that. It's dissolving in and out, so if I have two text objects overlapping, I get a clean dissolve. Typewriter will bring the text on one character at a time. No, I don't have control over the rate here. It just brings one after the other. And then alpha. Alpha is kind of almost like a non-additive mix. So I'm going to choose that it comes on as typewriter and that it goes out as dissolve. And I'm going to click Done. Now I'm going to take off the object that's here. So now it's not on here, and I'm going to step through my animation to make sure of that, and it's gone. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to once again right click set as default. I'm going to go to the address. I'm going to right click and add name to map, and I'm going to do two things. I'm just going to change this to Ross Video, and that appears. Now as I zoom this animation out, what you'll notice, the characters and the whole thing appear one character at a time. So I'm going to slow it down. You can kind of see it here. See if I can go one frame at a time here. It's kind of quick, but you get the idea. As that appears, that's how it's going to come on, and it's going to dissolve off, so it goes off as well. So that's how you edit, and that's also how you set in and out transitions for text when you create new text inside of XPression Maps.